What is extraordinary about this is that this guy meditates and induces his own entity, and that's what I like. And what's extraordinary is that it has the simple idea that the space-time of the body must reduce for an entity to take place. So that's what this guy is saying. But there's more to it.
Experienced in all the years that I've meditated. I sat down to do the meditation and weirdly my legs started to go numb, or at least I thought they were going numb, and I was like, that's really weird. Why are my legs going numb? I've only just sat down. And then I wiggled my toes and I was like, oh no, I can feel them perfectly fine. And then as soon as I tuned back into my breathing, my legs seemingly went invisible. It just felt like they weren't there, literally like I'd had general anesthetic. Then I started just following my breathing. This was all happening as I was following my breathing. And then
the emphasis is he was following his breathing, just like the way I'm doing. He was following his breathing. But for my case, when I followed my breathing, I was following the causation. I don't think he understands that word, but to me, when you follow your breathing, you must come to the point when you are following causation, the causation of your very existence.
My awareness really just went into a laser-like focus onto my breath, all within the space of maybe 30 seconds. No conscious effort, or any more so than I would normally give in a meditation. You know, you try to follow the breathing. Occasionally the mind wanders and things like that. But in this situation, my mind, it didn't move a millimeter. It was absolutely laser-like focus on the breath, more so than I've ever experienced in all the years that I've meditated.
I have not experienced this before. And the reason is simply because when I followed my breath, I wasn't persistent enough. I need to be persistent to follow the causation of myself. And definitely, I would be afraid if my body was numb. Yeah, I would be afraid. It's like dying. I'm not so sure whether I could do it or not. And I think that's the right direction to take for my life, for my meditation. There are many things that I need to do. Whenever I walk, I must be aware of the causation of the body, the causation of the mind that is walking. Whenever I think, I have to be aware fully of the causation of the thinking. But it's extraordinary. It's the very thing that the angels told me to do. It's the right direction. Because I am the causation and I am the solution. You see, what's so interesting about how this universe is created is that there's a one unity which is expanded into space and time. And I'm that space and time. Why it happens is because there has to be double polarities. So the one unity, being a unispace, has a counterpart in space-time. Space-time will forever experience birth and death, but one unity will forever experience eternity. And they are the dual polarities of the one world that I'm part of. So, of course, being in space-time, I have to continue to be focused to the changes of the breath. I have to be focused on the beginning and the end, the beginning and the end, so as to unite it. Because as I do that, the polarities would converge to the one unit space. And in between the two opposites lies a nullification that creates again reality.
Interesting happens that I don't understand. The right conditions, if you apply the right frequency, it's like they spontaneously organize into toroidal forms. Visualize a sphere with a North Pole and a South Pole. And now let's say you collapse that sphere so that the North Pole and the South Pole meet at the equator. So now you've got this like indentation in the north and the south. They're like cones, right? What then happens is that you get this electron or ion, or both, starts spiraling down that funnel. And as it's spiraling down, it's increasing and increasing in rotational velocity. Now, in the northern hemisphere, say, it's going clockwise, and in the southern, it's going counterclockwise. And they meet at the equatorial plane. And that's where something really interesting happens that I don't understand.
What this scientist is describing is the action on a plasma. A plasma is another state of matter. You have solid, liquid, gas, and you have plasma. Plasma is a state where the electrons, they just simply no longer link to the nucleus, and they moved in a very free fashion. Okay, what's interesting about plasma is that they can be conditioned by a frequency. So with the proper frequency, a torch will appear. What is a torch? It simply is kind of a positive pole and negative pole below it. So what we need to do is to bring the two opposites together. That's the secret. Once the two opposites get together, there is a nullification effect, and a miracle takes place. And this is exactly what I'm doing with myself when I am the causation of my own existence. When I'm the causation of my thoughts, when I'm causation of the body, I moved together with the body, moved together with the thoughts, to the extent that the frequency of me and the frequency of the body matches. When I do that, what is happening is that there is a gap of two opposites. A burst of breath pours out, and again, I need to follow the breath. That's right, I need to follow the breath as it moves up and down. And what happens next? I believe it's an NDE.